So as usual, I begin with the gesture and the balance, establishing the proportions with a simple line as well. How wide is this? How long is that? Paying attention to how close the chin is to the shoulder girdle. Making several marks, gliding down the pose. And these marks, they're not parts of the body, they're just becoming a path for the eye. So at this point I have everything placed. I have the balance, like this foot in relationship to this shoulder girdle. So I'm looking at how this heel relates up to the head. And in my drawing, I can check that if I got that too. So in my case, I can even pull this back further. Okay. So then I get into my three major masses. Where is he the narrowest? That's where that egg ends. Thinking about the pelvis, thinking about is he tucking that pelvis under, and it definitely is. About a fist's height in between the rim of the pelvic bowl and the egg. So now I can double check from head to great trochanter. Great trochanter to foot, that should be even in a standing pose. Get my landmarks. Here's my occipital ridge, ear, side plane, seventh cervical vertebra, the spine, so I'm seeing very little of this side, more of that side. My psoas dimples are somewhere around here, off to the left, creating this kind of a triangle. Great trochanter be somewhere in here. Okay, so then I'm thinking about what kind of a simple form do I have for the arm here? Which way is it oriented? Neck is a cylinder as well, attaching towards the front. So I'm drawing as if I can see through this egg here to the front. Okay. All right, once I have this, I'm going to zoom in. I'm trying to make sense of all these bumps on the back of his body. I'm combining what I know, what I've studied. So I know that I have the trapezius here, and I can see that too. So I'm combining what I know with what I see. So first thing that I should have done, or in the landmark phase still, is locate my scapula, those shoulder blades. So I'm looking at this little indentation here and this indentation, and I'm looking for a bump in here. So somewhere in here is my triangle. And on the other side, this here, lets me infer the placement for this scapula. Something like that. Coming back to my trapezius muscle that I started working on earlier. I'm working on the outer shape of it, and I know all the attachment points from having studied this. So I'm just kind of lightly placing that in. I can see those bumps right here on the reference right here, those bumps, this bump, that's all part of the trapezius. So I'm going to be thinking about my ovoids, placing those in here lightly so they don't look like these weird eggs. Then I'm thinking about, okay, what's that volume from? Why is that there? So I'm thinking about what other muscles do I know about in that area. And I know that our erector spinae muscle is in here. So I'm going to lay that in with an ovoid, an elongated ovoid here as well. And then I'm thinking about what else is in the back. I'm definitely seeing here this little line belonging to the latissimus. So I'm trying to find ways of getting this little contour into the drawing. But if I just draw this little segment, it's going to look detached and not as a part of the whole. But if I think about the whole muscle, where it's coming from, it'll unify the marks on my page into a whole. That makes sense. And here I see the rib cage. And here I have my obliques. They grab onto the rim here. Somewhere around here's a plane change from the back to the side of the body. So I'm going to be playing that up. Yeah, those are the erector spinae muscles erector spinae muscles overlapped by the latissimus over here. Don't see the obliques much on that side anymore. So there's some muscles in here that we will just group together into one pad. Another pad right here. They all kind of funnel towards the arm. And then we need our deltoids. So deltoids, you can begin kind of big and simple, halfway down the arm. You can see that on the reference right here, that indentation where that attaches here on the other side. Then we have three parts: back part, outside part. Front is not visible on this point of view. Back part, middle part, and then we see segments of the front part here. So now I'm going to work on this contour here and make that more clear based on my anatomy understanding. So the last thing I need in here is my sternocleidomastoid muscle, that long one from behind the ear towards the pit of the neck. So now look at this. You have this line meeting this line. This is from the trapezius, right? And then this trapezius line is meeting the deltoid line. So rather than drawing the neck as we see it in an uninformed way and making it look like this, then chin being here, so here's the neckline, where everything looks kind of curvy and spaghetti-like and non-structured, here we construct that contour with T intersections. So this is overlapping this. This is also overlapping that. And those T overlaps create structure, whereas if you just create a continuous curve, you are lacking these overlaps here, which give you more structure, more spatial insight. Okay. And work that out a little bit more on the other side. This is in back, this is in front. Getting those shapes to be a bit more characteristic. lay up these edges a little bit more clearly than we see them. This around like we would wrap that wrapping line around the egg. So here's my lay-in for the torso, thinking about some of the anatomy.